Being a CEO is very ghetto.
It's
like you don't
very ghetto.
You don't have to, like, I don't believe everybody needs to go start their own company
Right.
and like be their own CEO.
Right.
But the space I was looking for to like create and collab and grow as an individual, I didn't see a company like that. So I had to go create my own company that allowed anybody to come and like be their full self, allow people with no degrees to come and like excel and stuff like that. And so that's why I really was like, I need to build this company. I love the clients that we work with, but I also love the team that we've been able to build and the opportunities we've been able to give people that necessarily like wouldn't get opportunities in this world.
Ghetto. Good idea, now we buying merch. That's ghetto. Payment miss. Ooh, the ghetto. Say she quit. Ooh, the ghetto. Late on your rent. Rent is ghetto. New event. Ooh, the ghetto. Invoice in. That ain't ghetto. Money spin. Oh, that's ghetto. Hold on, it's kind of ghetto being a CEO.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ghetto CEO Podcast. I am so excited that you are here. Listen, the Ghetto CEO Podcast is where we keep it raw and unfiltered. Like, we tell the real behind the scenes of like our horror stories when it comes to being a CEO, because being a CEO is giving very much ghetto, okay? In this episode, we got literally one of my very best friends. Like, you guys are going to get a treat, okay? But my very best friend, Kasey Brown, and Kasey has achieved so much before the age of 26. I'm talking about she made six figures at 16. She has multiple companies. She's acquired multiple companies. She's built culture, all the things. And we're going to talk about how she actually is no longer the CEO of her company. So keep listening to the episode. And we got Kasey Brown in the building. Should I call you TikTok Kasey?
No, you should not. No, you
TikTok Case. Marketing Case. Like, I don't even know. You're famous. So
Kasey is really, is it? Like, it's just Kasey.
Listen, y'all might not know my friend, but this is going to be a good episode because you like my friend.
We friends for real.
Like, locked in for life. Ain't no switching up.
Ain't no switching up.
Period. Okay, listen. So we got a tradition here at the Ghetto CEO Podcast. And we start off with introducing yourself, but you have to introduce yourself by rapping.
No, you don't. That's literally false. That's fake.
That is not false news. So I'm going to drop a beat. And you got to give us some bars.
So, like, I'm from Detroit, though.
Yeah.
So, like, my raps be very, like, vulgar. So, I don't think
Go ahead.
No, like.
You ready? And.
So, you do this beatbox all the time, too?
Bitch, I was fucked.
Look.
Bitch, you fucked me up. Okay, here we go.
Look. Case the Ace on the beat, a CEO in these streets.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Yeah.
Where you be?
Yeah.
Cause I'm with my Reezy. That was fire, right?
That was fire. I couldn't even do both. I couldn't dash you up and do the beat. Like, that
I'm
was
dropping the
hard.
mixtape soon.
You are in. That is
sure.
not a tradition,
Yep.
but
I know it wasn't. I knew it wasn't. I knew. Now you got me. All right, cool.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be rapping anymore. I'm sorry.
Got the cameras. No more rap.
So, what's up, Kasey? Like, and this is, y'all, we're going to be laughing the whole episode. So, I hope you guys are ready for the giggles. But let them know, seriously, like, who you are and, like, how you jumped into being a CEO.
So my name is Kasey, Kasey Brown. But I'm the CEO of Digital, or I'm not the CEO. I guess we can get into that.
Yes.
I am the founder of Digital Kairos. I am the CEO of another company, but I am now just the founder and CRO of our main company. But I started marketing like when I was 16 years old. So I launched my first business. It was a sock business. And we can get into that if you want, but it was a sock business, and I started posting, running ads, scaling the sock business. We scaled it to about 100K a month when I was like 16. And so I got really, really deep into marketing, and that's just been like my love, specifically like running ads. Yeah. And so in 2019, officially, I started my agency where we focused on ads and things like that. But as iOS 14.5 came out, what I realized was that it wasn't just about the ad strategy, but more so, even about content. And so we've been doing and helping our clients do a lot of content and things like that now.
Yeah. So like, and I think that a lot of people, first of all, I think that's how like I became like, you're my friend. So. You know, because I don't know a lot of actual marketers. That is really shady, but like I feel like people don't have a concept of the difference between a marketer and somebody that can market their own products, or they are branders or whatever. They
got really good at Canva.
Absolutely. Yeah. Or they can create good content for themselves. Absolutely. Right? Because I think there's a concept like marketing is like truly numbers, analytics, like going in there and looking at the data to make decisions. So like, how did you get to that point of like, okay, now I'm like the GOAT in marketing?
I am not the GOAT. I really do love marketing though, but I have always been a numbers person. Yeah. And so I think that has been my edge in this game. Is just like, I understand data, I understand numbers. I actually went to school to be a doctor, but then I actually graduated with an economics degree. And so my background is just all in numbers, all in data. And so when it comes to our clients and scaling, and especially after iOS 14.5, where you had to be a real marketer in this game now, it was like, okay, what is the number saying? What's the conversion rates? What's the things? What's the click-through rates? And let the numbers influence our strategies and how we go to market.
No, facts. And so first of all, you went to Northwestern, right? Yeah. So y'all, like, Kasey is smart. Like, not just like, oh, I think she cool. No. She's smart. You know what I'm saying? Like, very intelligent. When you graduated from Northwestern, you actually went to the corporate route.
Yeah, so I went to school. Bill Gates gave me $1 million because I was smart on paper.
Where's the money?
You know, you really asking?
Yeah.
So, okay, so Dang, you have to really help me out. So Bill Gates gave me $1 million. Like, smart kids, tested. I told him my story. He gave me $1 million to go to school.
Like cash?
So they would pay the university. And if I continued on like health routes, so things that aligned with their foundation. So the Gates Millennium Foundation is really big into health and medicine, stuff like that. So if I would have continued on that path, they would have kept paying it. So it's $1 million. Even
after you graduate, they keep paying.
I go to medical school. They would pay for anything that I wanted to do. Up to $1 million.
So, and you decided that like you was gonna stop.
Absolutely.
So why?
Money has never been a driving thing for me. And so what I learned was like, because I was a smart kid at school, so I had 3 options. What I was told, I could either be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. Okay. And I was like, all right, I don't want to be an engineer. I like talking to people. Yeah. I don't want to be a lawyer. I cannot lie. Like if I lie, I'm like, I can't lie. Yeah. Shout out to the lawyers. I know lawyers. Like, they always be on me about that. And so I was like, I'll be a doctor. I like helping people. Yeah. But I realized that I don't like blood and stuff. So then I couldn't be a doctor anymore. And like, my family was like, but you got $1 million. Like, you should just do it. Like, it's okay. Like, you could just be a dermatologist. Like, you don't need to like see blood. Right. But I was like, no, money has never just been the thing to help me decide. And so I switched because I really like business. I like numbers. I like helping people in business. Right. And so I switched, and I thought the next option for me was corporate. So after I graduated, I went the corporate route. I was going to business school. I was going to Harvard Business School. And I was just like, actually, I don't like this either. And I had a lot of money. Like, I was 22 years old, probably making around $200K. I was on a pathway to be a partner.
Balling.
I was living. I was outside. Yes. Like, so I was on this pathway to be a partner at the firm. Probably by the time I was 35, I would make like $1 million a year. But what I saw in that, I didn't like it. I liked the work. It was fine. The lifestyle was not for me. And so while I was working 90 hours at 22 years old, right to the right of me was my boss that was 45 years old, that was missing her daughter's dance recital and all that stuff. Just like, she was making $1 million a year, but the lifestyle was trash. Right. So I was like, okay, I actually don't want to do this either. And so on the day I got promoted. So I got promoted, and my raise was probably going to be around $250. And again, I'm 23 years old. I quit. I quit because I knew if I accepted more and more money, it was going to be harder and harder for me to quit. Yeah. And so I quit that day. I actually took a pay cut and went to this company called Stripe.
Okay. We know them.
maybe y'all have heard of Stripe.
Right.
Hey, people have beef with Stripe and stuff. Like,
don't call me about your Stripe.
So I went to this company called Stripe, and I took a big pay cut. But the reason I went there is like tech and fun.
Okay.
And I got to talk to a lot of startups. I got to help a lot of small businesses on Stripe, because as startups grow, Stripe grows, right? Because they're processing more money.
Right.
And so I like that work, and I like the teams, I like the people. And I was there for about a year, and then I was like, I'm gonna start my own thing now.
So then you started your agency?
Yep.
Okay, so then you quit corporate, you started the agency, and then how did you start building that company?
So the first, like, tactically, how did I build it?
Mm-hmm. Well, but like...
Yeah, so I had a couple clients. Like, I was, again, I've been running ads since I was 16. At this point, I'm now 24. So I've been in the game 8 years at this point running ads. And so I had a couple clients always that I was running ads for on the side in corporate, right? And so at that time I was like, okay, I'm gonna just really start talking about this. I'm gonna tell my clients to tell their friends that like I'm fully open now. So probably within a week of quitting my job, I was at like 5K a month.
Period.
I also, y'all heard I was making a lot of money, but I was also spending it just as fast, right? Like once you start making money, you get a nicer house, I get a nicer car, on vacation. Right. So like I didn't actually have much saved up.
Right.
And so I had like 5K, but I was like, whatever, like worst case scenario, and I'm privileged to say this, but my worst case scenario is like, I'm gonna just have to go live in my mom's basement. If this don't work out, I'm gonna just move home. So I told a couple of my clients, like, please, if you got business owner friends, like tell them I'm running ads.
Right.
So within like a month, I probably started making around like 10K a month, me and a VA.
Okay.
And within the next 3 months, we were probably around like 50K a month.
Period.
In the agency.
So you scaled pretty fast.
Yeah.
But the reason why you even went to your business is because you were searching for something. Do you feel like you found it?
I did. And I tell people this all the time. I don't think you have, we're going to talk about, I hope we talk about this. Like being a CEO is very ghetto.
It's
like you don't,
very ghetto.
You don't have to, like, I don't believe everybody needs to go start their own company and like be their own CEO.
Right.
But the space I was looking for to like create and collab and grow as an individual, I didn't see a company like that. So I had to go create my own company that allowed anybody to come and like be their full self, allow people with no degrees to come and like excel and stuff like that. And so that's why I really was like, I need to build this company. I love the clients that we work with, but I also love the team that we've been able to build and the opportunities we've been able to give people that necessarily like wouldn't get opportunities in this world.
Right. So what you were looking for, you went and just built yourself.
Absolutely.
And so, but the question is, now that I'm like really thinking about it, you did all of this, you went to school, you got $1 million scholarship, you changed, you went to a corporate job, was making all this money, went to Stripe, making all this money, then you found what you were looking for and then you gave it up. Like you didn't stay being the CEO. So how did that, like, talk a little bit about like that transition of like firing yourself as a CEO?
Yeah. So what I was looking for was a space, was a company, was a mission, was a vision. Yeah. And that's something that we still have. Yeah. Right. And that's what I created, and the CEO runs that. What I was not looking for was, again, me working 90 hours a week like that partner that I was saying at my corporate job. Right. And so I started the company probably with myself and 2 VAs. Yeah. But even at that point, I was like, I don't want to run this forever. I shouldn't run this forever. Like there are people out there better than me that can run this better than I can. Plus, I do want like free time, leisure, things like that. So I was okay building something for a space to like make impact and then having a small percent of that. Yeah. Right. Like I was okay with that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that because I think that people think they have to own it, because being a CEO is ghetto. Like it is very ghetto, and it was so ghetto that you quit.
Yes, I quit. I gave up my position. Formally, I gave up my position as a CEO 2 months ago, but the person that is now the CEO, one of my best friends, has been an acting CEO for about 6 months. Yeah. But that was a 2-year-long process, right? And so again, as a CEO, one of our main jobs is to like hold a vision for our company. Right. And so I started this company. I had a strong vision for it, strong mission for it. And so he also aligned with that mission and vision. But as a CEO, there's taxes, profit, like there's other tactical things that he just needed to learn. And so over the last 2 years, basically what I did was put him through like a business school of all the acumen I've been able to collect from all these universities and whatever. I put him in business school with me and him every Wednesday, 2 to 3 hours. We're talking about all these business things for the past 2 years. And now he's running the company.
I love this. So, but for you, do you feel like that has alleviated the stress? Like you are now like, I'm just an employee. Like I have a job description and this is what I'm supposed to do. Does that alleviate the stress, or is it like, because somebody's out there like, oh, sign me up. Yeah. Where are the CEOs? Yeah. So I'm about to hire them. But like, how do you feel about it?
So I will say it alleviates the stress. Okay. The thing about me, so I grew up as like my mom's only child. Mm-hmm. So like in business, I love to just collab with people. Yeah. Like I love to be like, there's this thing in business, like it's inevitable highs and lows. Okay. You're going to go through highs and you're going to go through lows. Yeah. Right. And so I said to myself, do I want to go through these highs and lows alone, or do I want people to go through these highs and lows with? Yeah. Right. And so I was okay giving up equity to like have somebody to go through these highs and lows with. It doesn't necessarily though alleviate the stress. Like the company is still like my baby. Right. So at the end of the day, it's like, I'm still very hands-on. Yeah. But it gives you somebody to just like ride the ride with. It adds some more joy to the highs and it adds some more support to the lows when I have a partner to go through it.
No, I love that. And so with having this partner now, what was the process? Because like I said, somebody's out there and it's like, I'm about to, because when no lie, I was like, y'all, when I talked to Kasey, when I met Kasey, she was like, yeah, like technically I'm not the CEO of my company. And I was like, technically sign me up. Like, how does that work? You know what I mean? And so even as like we've developed our friendship, I like see her space, right? Because I'm also a client. And so I see the space of like how her CEO runs the company and what she does for the company. Because your role is what?
I'm now the CRO. What does that mean? Focused on, so it stands for Chief Revenue Officer. Okay. I'm focused on hitting revenue targets for the company.
So your job is just to make money?
Marketing and sales.
So, but you're good at that. That's not something
that's my strength, right? And so then again, I was like, where am I strong at? I'm strong in a lot of areas just because of my experience. But where am I strong and where do I like to play? And so like, how can I focus just on that? Yeah. Right. As a CEO, that's one of our main jobs, to see our players and then put them in the right seats. I also need to put myself in the right seat. My right seat is if Kasey can focus on marketing and sales all day, we're all going to win. Right. And so everybody in the company also wants me to focus there, because it helps everybody else. Yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm focused.
So did you get to that point by just like, okay, I'm just going to find somebody? Like, how did you find
So here's
Shannon?
The process on how I found Shannon. Yeah, we have not said his name.
What's
Shannon?
Shannon?
That's the boy right there. So Shannon doesn't have a degree. Like, he is that guy. Yeah. And I don't say this on some like pedestal. Yeah. But me and him talk about this. Like, he would not have had this opportunity if it wasn't for this space that I created. Right. And so I tell our team this all the time. I got all these degrees and stuff, but I got this for us to win collectively so that I can walk into these doors and then I could put y'all on, Right. But Shannon, so I'm gay as hell. Let me just say that. I'm gay as hell. Shannon is a nigga. I don't know if we said that. Shannon is a man. Yes. And this man slid into my DMs.
Yeah. Okay. And he also, so y'all gotta go peep. We're gonna put Shannon's @ in the comments. Because y'all, Shannon is a nigga, but he also not from America, right?
No.
So he like, where is Shannon located?
He is located in Amsterdam.
Yeah, so it's just like whole different. So I can imagine this Amsterdam ass nigga sliding in your comments or your DMs and like, what's up?
What's good, baby? Can I take you to lunch?
Can I take you out?
No, he slid in my DMs and he was like, hey, I'm actually starting a podcast. Like, I've been watching you. Like, you are so inspirational. Because at this time I was like putting out a lot of content around growing my agency. Okay. So he was like, I would love to just like talk to you. And if anybody knows me, like, I don't reply. Like, I do not reply. But somehow I saw his message and I was like, let me reply to him. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, we could do the podcast. And so we get on a podcast. He starts interviewing me. I'm like, this guy's kind of dope. Mm-hmm. He's telling me that he does emails and landing pages and he's like big into marketing and sales. Yeah. And so I was like, well, let's see like what you were about, So he started helping some of our clients. And the thing about him is like really good at what he does, but the heart Like he has a heart that like he eats, sleeps, and breathes clients, not money, not revenue. Like he eats, sleeps, and breathes clients. And I started seeing that. Like he would just jump on call. Like, no, can I just talk to them? Can I brainstorm? Can I help them? I was like, this man is like super dope. Yeah. And so we worked together for about a year. And then after that, again, he's building his own agency. I was building my agency, and he had a nice size agency. And I had an honest conversation with him, like, you know, I believe in this saying, a rising tide raises all ships. So as the ocean has a tide, it raises every ship on there. And I was like, hey, I think both of us have a rising tide right now. Like, what if we like just collab and rise together? And so he was like, yeah. And he's just one of those guys without an ego. And he left his agency and joined me. And for, again, the last 2 years, we've just been working together. The vision has always been to him to be the CEO. And so the last 2 years, we've been working on that. And now that's where we're at.
If you're over here on YouTube watching the podcast, listen, I need you to do me a favor. If you love me, do me this favor. Pull out your phone right now and go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts or anywhere that you actually listen to podcasts at, right? I need you to subscribe and leave a review. Listen, the way podcasts work is the streets don't know we doing good if it's not on the audio version. The YouTube version don't really count, okay? So go over there, leave us a review, and let us know how much you love the podcast. Now back to the episode. I like how you slow read it though. Like you, cause I know you, right? And me and you are like very much alike. Yeah. I am such a like, you want to do it? You ready?
Yeah.
Sign right
Let's
here.
go.
Like,
let's go.
You want half?
Literally.
Sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it logically makes sense, I can go. So, like, what made you just be like, oh, let me test you out for 2 years?
Yeah. So, yes. My partner, so literally probably within like 6 months of meeting Shannon, I was like, this is him. Like, I found him. I have manifested the CEO. Like, I just knew. Like, it was, my partner is like, calm down. Like, this is your business is the baby. Like, this is the baby. Like, you're just about to give it up. Like, let's just see. If it is a CEO, he's still going to be here, right? Like, you project to have this company a while. If he is really the CEO, he's going to be here, right? And so I was like, okay, true. And so she was the one that like calmed me down. And then again, I was like, he doesn't necessarily have all the skills as like the CEO of where we're headed, right? Of where we're going. And I didn't even have all those skills yet. And so I had to learn some things. I had to like fail at some things. I had to get some like stripes for then to teach him what not to do, what to do. But that's kind of why that was a 2-year long process.
And so with the process, did y'all, like, what is like a horror story? Like, was there anything, like any hiccups? Because somebody, like I said, if there's anyone that's listening to this like us, they have already planned out step A through Z. So, like, what was the ghetto part of bringing in a CEO?
So the one thing I will say, and I feel like we've talked about this, is like the difference. So Shannon on paper is not like, oh yeah, you're a great fit for the CEO. Let's do it. Shannon, though, is like, I trust him with like my life. Like, I trust that man. We have fun together. Like, that is like my friend. And so for anybody that's thinking about like bringing in a CEO, at least at our level, like we're a scrappy company. Like, we need to make decisions. Sometimes we're at 0. Sometimes we're at 1 million. You know how the business feed. And so I needed to have a friend like I needed to have somebody that I really trusted. I needed to have somebody with a good heart, good intentions, right? So that came above any other thing. Shannon is a great marketer, a great mind, but like he is a great person first. And so that's why that partnership was able to be formed. And then for like step by steps, what I went through was just studying. I brought out some of my old business books and stuff, but I was like, what makes a CEO? The number one thing as a CEO is like, you work for your team. Like, we don't actually work for our clients, right? And so a lot of our training for about 6 months was like, how do you build good team, good culture, right? How do we find A players and keep them, right? In this world, every company is paying more and more. One of our employees just got a offer from Facebook to like go work there, probably like 4 times more than what they're making with us, and they turned it down. Oh, wow. Like, why did they do that? Because we've been so intentional around like our team, our culture, and things like that. The next 3 months was all about vision, right? So as a CEO, he has to know like where we're going and why we're going there, right? And be aligned to it. And so we talked a lot about that. And then we talked a lot about just numbers, right? Projections, profit, things like that. But those are like kind of the biggest focus areas on like what we studied over the last 2 years.
Yeah, so you literally took this man through business school. You took
Absolutely.
him through the Northwestern.
Yeah. And I actually paid for him to go to Harvard. Like, he did Harvard Business School online class. Like, we've invested a lot of time in.
What job?
But, like, that pays off, though, right? Yeah. I can invest 20 grand, 30 grand into, like, his learning. I can also invest tons of my hours into his learning. And that pays off for our team. That pays off for our clients. That pays off for him and his confidence. Right. And now I get to just focus on what I'm good at.
So you really can't even say being a CEO is ghetto because you're not a CEO anymore.
So I'm an entrepreneur. So as soon as we made that switch, I started like 2 more. Like, we have, by the end of this year, we'll have like 6 companies in our holding company. So I'm still the CEO of.
And so, and we had this running joke, right, that you are like the Steve Jobs of our friend group because
it's just the glasses.
Like, it's definitely the glasses.
It's just the glasses.
It's definitely the glasses. But the other part about it is, Kasey, you like 26, right?
I am 26.
You're 26
Put
years
my
old.
information out there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's what he
you're
said.
like young, right? Like, you're young, and you've been making 6 figures since you were 16, right?
Yeah.
You have literally acquired companies. Mm. You've hired a CEO. Like, who the fuck are you? Are you like reincarnated into like who at 26 is thinking like this?
It's all risk taking though, right? So I've made a lot of money and I've also lost tons of money. I remember probably around 19, I was in college and I was starting this other business and I lost 30 grand on like a bad deal, 30 grand. And I remember I called my mom like, yeah, I'm walking to class. I lost 30 grand. And my mom was like, oh, like, what are you talking about? Like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, I lost all my money. Like, I was saying it so like flippantly. I literally had $0 in my bank account. So like to most people, like the risks that I've taken are like scary. Right. To me, the risks that I'm taking is business school. Right. Like, I've learned more from like losing money, failing, losing bad team members, hiring bad people, winning companies, failing companies than I even learned in Northwestern or Harvard. Right?
How do you deal with it? Like,
deal with losing,
losses, the risk, like how do you stay so motivated to keep going?
I love losing, I think, more than winning. That's crazy. I don't think I've ever like really thought about that, but I love losing. There's this joke that I tell my partner all the time whenever a loss happens. I'm like, I get excited because I feel like there's going to be a documentary filmed about me, and you got to have a bunch of losses to make the documentary interesting. It got to be juicy. Right? But even more than that, like, I learned so much from a loss. After that 30K loss, I learned about shipping things. So it was a thing that happened in China. It got stuck at customs. I learned all this information. Yeah. COVID happened, and although I wasn't running a product thing, a lot of our clients are product-based businesses, and I had all this information around what we need to do, the slips that we need to have. I also still had agents in China because of that accident that happened when I was 19, and so we were able to swiftly move all of our clients' products in and keep scaling them, right? So I'm so happy I learned that lesson when at 19 and it was only 30K, because at 25 when I needed that lesson, like, it made me a lot more money. Yeah. Right?
And so what's the thing inside of you that makes you keep going?
Like, keep going with after loss and stuff?
Yeah, like, it's just because we have to feel emotions. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like, and we kind of talked about this, right? Yeah. Do you feel like you actually are tapping into like how you feel about what's happening, or you just like numb to it at this point?
I'm not numb to it. Every scar though gets like less and less. Like, it's like, oh, I've been through this before, right? And so I'm not numb to it. But I don't know, this could get like deep a little bit. But I just feel like we all are going to die. Like, that's a known, like, we're all gonna die. And like, low key, like, nobody's even gonna like really remember us like that. Yeah. Like, I met a young kid and I was like, like Michael Jackson was playing. I was like, do you know who this is? They were like 8 years old. And I was like, this is Michael Jackson. And they did not know who Michael Jackson was. And it was just like, dang, like, if you don't know who Michael Jackson, like, nobody's even gonna know who I am in 200 years. Right? Like, nobody's gonna remember. And so what I feel like life is so precious, and like, why not just get out here and just like try everything. Right. My biggest fear, and I tell people this all the time, my biggest fear is not losing money. It's not looking silly. It's not nobody talking about me. My biggest fear is like laying on my deathbed or something and regretting. and being like, dang, like what if I would have just did it? What if I would have just talked to this person? What if I never want to come home at the end of the day like, dang, like what if I would have just like said hey to Monrae, like, but I was too scared. Like I want to know, like, dang, I said hey and she looked the other way, but now I know, right? Like my biggest fear is regret. And so whenever I'm scared about something, I think about that. Like, dang, am I gonna look back on this and be like, dang, what if I would have did that? If so, do it.
That's good. That's a bar.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that? That was good. It's serious though. It's real.
That was good because it's like I tell my students that all the time. Like one thing, in 10 years, I'm not gonna look in the mirror and be like, bitch, you are a loser because of you. You know what I'm saying? Like and we're not even supposed to be cussing, but it's just like I can't regret me. Like I gotta show up. And I also feel like, and the reason why I ask that is because I think for me, the older that I get, the less my risk tolerance is. Like the more like seasoned I get in business, I was way riskier in the beginning. Like
really? Why do you think that is though?
But I think I'm tired of taking L's. Like it's just like kind of like that. Let me just be in my soft season. I
just feel like, right, like the business and the impact we're about to have over the next 5 years is going to be huge.
Period.
And so I feel like I want to learn I want to go to zero now before I get to $1 billion and go to zero. Like I want to learn, like I'm willing to lose 50K, 100K, $1 million here. Like I'm willing to do that now because I want the lessons. Yeah. So then when I'm in this next season, 100 million, whatever, like, doing that stuff, like I've learned the lessons.
Right.
You know?
I love it.
My end goal is to actually like build a school too. So like
the mob, Millionaire Mob University.
I want to build a school for like the youth, you know?
Okay. They go Millionaire Mob Elementary.
No, like for real though. I want to build a school. So like I be like saying like at this point in my life, like I have a fine life and lifestyle. Everything now is like to build this school.
What do you want the school like? What's the vision?
So like, you know, like kids, like where I grew up, like, you know, it's like people don't even know that like you could just make money doing certain things. Yeah. Like it's like, okay, if I'm not smart and I don't go to the league, what do I do? Like I just go be a assistant at the dentist or something. Like I don't know, I could learn how to run ads and run an agency or run a podcast. Like I don't know I can do all this stuff. And so I want to like build a school where it's like an ads teacher there and like a music producer there, like a fashion stylist there, and like people can come and like learn that stuff. But I don't want to depend on the government. So like I'm making all this money to put millions of dollars into the school.
I love it. It's gonna be here. Where is it gonna be?
I don't know where it's gonna be. But I had to be a good teacher, right? I need a lot of lessons. I need the L's. So that's why I was saying that. Like I need these L's to teach.
L's for but that's a beautiful thing. I need these L's not even for me, but for y'all.
100%. Like it's really on my back. Like I feel this. Like I be telling my team, like this is not for me. Like I feel like I've done a lot. I've done the things for me, for like my ego and that stuff. Everything else now from 26, I'm gonna live to 100. From 26 to 100 is for the world. It's for people. And so I'm just like, let me take I want to take the bullets so I could pass like the knowledge back.
That's beautiful.
It's serious.
No, it really is. So, okay, so you got the business. You're no longer the CEO. You are the CRO. Shannon's the CEO, right? Like, do you feel we know that like business is a male-dominated industry. Yes. Like, do you feel like you strategically, because my personal experience, I feel like people trust men quicker than they trust Black women. Yes. So do you strategically feel like you leveraged Shannon being a male, or did you leverage your sexuality, you know what I'm saying, to be able to adapt to more white men in this male-dominated industry?
So I definitely did not hire Shannon or like leverage him being a man. Yeah. Like I haven't met, and this is no shade to the men for real, but I just haven't met a lot of just good men. Yeah. Just good men that will also like just really respect me. Yeah. Okay. Right? Like that's just been my experience.
So you feel like it's harder for you with your sexuality to adapt to and
absolutely. Or like not even like just being like even just a woman. Yeah. Like making more or like being the boss, like how men sometimes some men can react and respond to that, right? Shannon is just one of those guys like, yo, I don't like, he's like, you're a great person, I want to learn from you, I'm ready to work, right? And so like that's what that was, leveraging my sexuality. Like there's this thing, I think how you put it was like leverage your sexuality. Being like gay is not actually like cool. Like I'm cool with it, but like it's not actually like a cool thing. Like people will post a little rainbow or like say I support it, but like don't really like support that shit, you know? And so that's nothing that I've been able to leverage per se. It has been something I am loud and proud about because it opens up doors for so many other folks. Like we have some clients that are like 50 years old that were like, hey, because I like worked with y'all and interacted with y'all, like I'm now coming out.
I love that.
And that's crazy.
I think that's the thing too, because I've literally seen it in real life.
Yes.
Like literally we're at a conference and somebody's like, I was like, do you know her? And you like, nah, the gays, we gotta pay. And they'll switch it up.
No, but it's real, like, cause I'm not even this person. Like, I'm not like a fame person and all this stuff. The reason that I even do all this stuff, again, back to this, like, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for everybody else, right? And so when I get on a stage or I post about something or me and my girl are posting pictures, like, I don't do that for vanity. I do that for other people to be like, oh, you can run a business and have cool friends and like do all this stuff, speak on stages and be fully like who you are. Dang, that's dope. Let me like tap into that because I've seen Kasey do it.
That's good. Yeah. Okay, so we got a segment that we do at the end and it's called Plead the Fifth.
Oh Lord.
And so so I'm going to
pleading already.
Are you pleading?
Nah, you know me. I'm an open book. Let's go.
I wish I had some shots, but
like of liquor.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, honey, no, honey, come on, no shots. Hey.
It's okay. So, but I'm gonna ask you a question. If you can either answer it, or if you don't want to answer it, you just say, "Okay, Monrae,
plead the fifth," or I just say, "Okay,
okay, Monrae, I'm pleading the fifth."
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Is this an actual tradition this time, or is this fake?
No, this is
because I got caught up earlier.
This is an actual.
All right,
tradition.
come on with it.
God, I already have the questions and everything.
All right, I don't know.
Okay, so question number 1: would you ever mix business and pleasure?
Yes. So let me explain. Can I explain? Or I just because I said that very yes. Every day.
What are you doing?
No, so me and my partner actually work in the business together. And so this new company we've started, she's one of the like co-CEOs of that business. So I am currently mixing business and pleasure. But we have a lot of boundaries around like when we talk business, when we talk other stuff. So yeah.
You did that or she did it?
I did that.
Oh, I love that for you.
I did that.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever pretended to be attracted to men to make more money in your business?
Absolutely not. I'm an Aries. Shout out to the Aries. I don't do that. I don't play them games. I'm going to get mine. Yeah. I'm also a Detroit hustler. Like Detroit hustlers. I don't need no. That was a long plea. Or no, I don't plead the fifth.
No, the answer is no.
No, I'm the one of one.
You get it done.
It's always gonna get done. What are you talking about?
It's going to happen.
It's going to be coins over here.
Period. Close the deal.
Close it.
No worries.
Nope.
If your mom or close family member needed a job, would you hire?
No. I would not hire. I would support.
Okay.
Them.
Why?
Why wouldn't I hire them?
Yeah.
My mom personally, that's like my best friend.
Yeah.
She should not be working with me. I'll like support her and like give her money. But yeah, I wouldn't hire her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So listen, Kasey, we are coming to the conclusion of this episode. Did you love it here at the Ghetto CEO?
Fun.
We have to call this now the Ghetto CRO because you're not a CEO.
I'm still a CEO of other things.
You're not in the ghetto with us anymore. Nah. But I actually applaud it. Like, I'm jealous. Like, I want a CEO. So, my CEO is out there.
Hit her up.
I'm looking for
Slide
you.
in the DMs.
It's definitely gonna take 3 years more, but
yeah,
if you're here, not this a call to action.
Slide in her DMs right now.
Right now.
Drop CEO in the chat. In the comments.
Facts. But I applaud you for what you've done.
Thanks, friend.
So far. Like, you are so inspirational. Good. And I just thank you for being my friend.
Oh my God. Is Monrae getting emotional? Monrae ever said, I'd be like, I love you.
She'd be like, girl, chill out.
No, I'm excited. Like, this is super dope. You are super dope. And thank
you.
And
Before we end the episode, you actually was the first person that I told about this concept.
And I'm so excited. Like, that's why I'm beaming. Like, I'm like, one thing about you, like, you are going to get it done.
Period.
And I love that. I love that.
Yes, well, thank you for being on the Ghetto CEO Podcast. Where can I stay in touch with you, and any last words?
So, TikTok, mostly at Marketing Case. Instagram at Case the Ace. My DMs are closed.
No more CEOs.
No more DMs. No, I always like to connect with people. Always feel free to DM me. But yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. All right, see you guys on the next episode.
Ooh, the ghetto. Invoice in. That ain't ghetto. Money spin. Oh, that's ghetto.